This is not another tidy story. This is a journey into a world of contradictions. We're going to a place far from you that touches you every day, making your weather crazy, raising the level of oceans, and offering us more oil to burn. You may know the Arctic from native legends or sailors' stories, but today's truth is stranger than myth. Across the polar sea today, all certainty is melting beneath the feet of ancient beasts. And a remote culture finds itself suddenly striding a global stage. Viewed through many eyes and revolutionary cameras, this is a journey into a world you have never seen before. Because until now, it did not exist. Our journey begins in the port of Vikings. Our voyager is an unassuming man in an ordinary grocery store. He planned to stay home this summer, but that is not his fate. His name is Richard Tegnér. He's 62, an architect from Stockholm, Sweden.
Mix the eggs, oil, water and cake mix. Det här behöver man ägg, olja och vatten.
I wouldn't consider myself adventurous. I live a steady life. I have my employment and my family. I met Kerstin 15 years ago. Before that, I didn't have any kids. So I got my first child at the age of 49, and the next one was a few years later.
Richard's family is in Iceland to see him off on an unexpected journey with his childhood friend, Martin Sigge.
One day, my old friend Martin asked me, do you want to come along with me to do the Northwest Passage? Wow. No. That's far out for me. No, not really.
Vi hurra för Götaland, vi hurra för Svealand, vi hurra för potatisland som ger oss brännvin. Skål allihopa! Cheers!
Martin had already recruited an old army buddy, now a businessman, named Bengt Norvik.
Ja, flera olika sorters valar och sälar och narvalar. Det är de som har en långt krokigt horn som sticker ut i pannan. Och även isbjörnar förstås. Och många vackra fåglar hoppas jag få se också. Ja, det var det jag kom på så där i hastigheten.
He said, think of it, because it's a one in a lifetime opportunity, and if you don't do it, I suppose you might regret it. And if you do it, you will have a wonderful experience. So I talked to Kerstin and I talked to colleagues, and I sort of slept on the question, and after a few weeks I got back to Martin and say, okay, I will join you. I would like to say something about my old friend Martin. You get this opportunity once in a lifetime to do a trip like this, and thank you very much, dear friend.
Well, thank you, Richard, for your kind words.
I think it's important to say this because we haven't really I haven't really expressed it, but I think
the crew's got to do. The crew's got to do. I couldn't ask for any better crew than Richard and Bengt. Few of my absolutely best friends. You should know that there is a line of people back in Sweden and internationally that all say, well, if any one of you need to get off, you know, I'm prepared to join instead.
despite the title on your advertisement in the
Men wanted for...
yes. What did you say? Men wanted for Hesadrius journey with the
bitter cold
and
fame and something as a reward if successful coming back. Yes. That was right.
Richard's daughters are not so amused to think of him in danger.
I think they're a bit worried. Ines said when she came on board the boat, it's a small boat.
The boat's name is Dags, which is a play on words in Swedish. It means it's time now. My father bought this boat, new in 1976. It's a 31-foot ocean-going sailing boat, and it's considered to be one of the few boats that can go around the world without any special reinforcements. It's already been designed for that from scratch.
Martin has been sailing his whole life. His preparations for the Northwest Passage have taken him 18 months.
It's not a specific climate change or Arctic interest that I have. It's the challenge. If you take 100 people, I'm probably among the biggest risk takers.
He plans to sail Dax from Iceland to Greenland, between the high Arctic islands and around Alaska to the Pacific. The route is nearly 10,000 kilometers long. It's a journey that has only been made by a rare few sailors in the whole of maritime history. The great British Navy first started probing the ice for a passage to Asia way back in the 1500s. Britain spent 350 years and the lives of countless men, only to fail. The Northwest Passage was not sailed for the first time until 1903. As recently as 1969, the summer ice was still so thick as to block even the mightiest ships. Now, each summer's midnight sun melts more and more ice, turning the Northwest Passage into a new Everest, open even to amateurs.
I'm trying not to underestimate anything. I think we're well prepared. We might even end up over-prepared. I think we have thought of everything. It's going to be interesting to see what we didn't think of, because there's probably something. Bengt is an extremely competent person who has the right kind of thinking on how to manage critical situations of all kinds.
I like to sail. This was a kind of opportunity that I couldn't turn down. To sail far away in foreign waters, it's exciting.
I'm the least experienced sailor of us three. I have taken the role of managing the food. Chickpeas, tomatoes, to make tomato sauce, and we can make chickpeas in tomato sauce. Lemonade, full grain pasta. It's It's not very good. Bengt and Martin, they are more experienced in sailing. I feel safe with their knowledge on the boat, and I will learn more during this trip also. I have had a kind of depression for quite some time. There was sort of something missing. A couple of times during your lifetime you ask yourself, what am I doing here on this planet, and why? Your senses, they talk to you, they want to tell you, do something about your life, and here opportunity knocked on my door.
I often think of what it's going to be like to look back on a life. If you ask people what they regret, a lot of that is what they didn't do.
Kan vi ta ut focken också nu då? Kan ta ut focken också eftersom...
They heard of this trip, but I said no, it's the opposite. It's a wish for life, for more intensity in life.
In addition to his duties as cook, Richard will keep the ship's diary and chronicle the voyage of Dax.
The first day was smooth. The engine runs as a little sewing machine and consumes no oil at all, and hardly any fuel either.
Well, something was not that smoothly, I think. Bengt and I got seasick.
Well, I would never dream of mentioning that, but you did it yourself. So now I'm expecting a good breakfast from the chef.
Coming up.
Okay, okay. Run the engine for 65 hours, and it's time to fill 1 liter of engine oil. Remember, this engine is 37 years old. And one of the cylinder head covers, take care not losing the gasket. It's a calm day, there's no wind. We're in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean, I suppose. Never thought the Atlantic could be this calm.
Crossing the polar sea, the sailors will encounter travelers of all kinds. But for now, their only companion is a nearby Norwegian yacht named Impulse.
Impuls, här kallar dags.
De vil være lenger syd og utenfor iskanten. Og de vises ikke nødvendigvis på radaren. I alle fall ikke growlers. Og ja, vi vil helst ikke møte på det i høye bølger.
Okej.
Martin is fixing up his appearance.
The Tintin look.
Oi, se hva! Se føttene!
None of us have seen any whales before in the wildlife, so we are really overwhelmed by this visit. We saw them in the distance first, and then they seemed to be curious, and they came up to the boat. Family by family, they came up with their kids and swam with us for a while and left us.
South of Greenland, the cold Arctic winds meet the warm Atlantic waters and brew up a storm.
I was a bit afraid, and I thought, well, is this the way it's gonna end? He was not afraid. He was more excited. He returned to the cockpit. I'm almost high on this. We had read that there used to be a belt of ice outside Ilulissat, and you shouldn't be scared by the look of it because it's not usually that compact as it looks from a distance. But it was quite compact, so we had to spend some time getting through it. I like that. It's more of an experience, I think.
To make port, they must sail a maze of ice sheared off Greenland's glacier. The weight of the glacier pushes ice out through fjords to the sea. Icebergs were always born this way, but the glacier has never shed so many so fast. It's one of many changes, strange and sudden, drawing legions of scientists to the north. This is Abbas Khan, an expert in geodynamics. He works for Denmark, a coastal country that is worried about huge flows of ice into the sea.
Entire Greenland is rising right now by, in some places, a centimeter per year, other places up to 5 centimeters per year. Actually, right here where we are standing, uplift is about 3 centimeters per year, so that's that much every year.
What the melting ice means today is a rush of scientists and explorers to the villages on Greenland's coast.
Entering this harbor, it made the same messy impression as all the ice outside, because we couldn't see any order or any place to go. It was just like that, jammed with boats everywhere. So we stole a place. South of Greenland was really jumpy and a lot of wind, and we broke our foresail, and the motor was not perfect, so we had to change a few things.
The sailors are in a region unlike any other in the Arctic. Europeans and Inuit have mixed here for 1,000 years. They have created a unique cultural fusion, seen most easily in...
So that's good for the tourism, especially because of the global heating, they're calling it.
I'm not fat from the beginning, but I have lost 4 kilos.
I haven't weighed myself, but my pants keep sliding down all the time.
So we need a lot of fat in the food, I think.
So the first dish here.
I normally never do it, but I despise those who must put pictures of what they eat on Facebook. And this is something special.
This is a traditional dish that we have been making in a new way. This seal soup. In Greenland we call it suaset, and where you make like a pot with seal meat. Usually the tourists and people from the other places in the world, when they taste this suaset, they're always like, now I try it, but they never try it again because
This is very tasty and different.
Som ett skiffer nästan.
Ja, skiffer. Slight.
This dish is muskox, some peas, angelica.
Yeah.
Julia.
Wow. What is it? It's so good. It's the food that makes you want to be a better man.
It's the main city of halibut here,
Yes.
so in the summer there are like 200 and 250 boats coming here, so because there's so many halibut here, so they are like, wow, let's get this fish. So,
The crowd in Ilulaissat's bustling harbor is also filled out with many groups of scientists, which is lucky for the Dax crew. Their communication gear was damaged on the voyage, but here they have met people who can fix it.
But they have a little problem with the internet connection for the Iridium phone, and so we're trying to fix it.
Gilbert is here to make investigations about the gravity.
In fact, we're trying to see how Greenland, the rock of Greenland, is upcoming due to the disappear of the ice. So with mass of Greenland, the mass of the ice disappeared, and so the rock comes up, and we are measuring that.
And what about the coast area?
The coast area, yeah, the coast area is coming up. Yes, well, it's a little bit more complicated. You have movements, different movements from the past and movements from today. But the main thing, what you see today, is that it is coming up.
Part of the reason scientists are now rushing to Greenland is the expectation that its newly exposed lands are wealthy in minerals.
So this is what we call an absolute gravity meter. Yeah. So we will measure the acceleration due to the Earth. So basically it's different from place to places. It depends on the altitude. Further away you are from the Earth, smaller is the attraction. Yeah. And so basically you can use this instrument to measure the crust motion. The reason we have that here is because the ice is melting. And if the ice is melting, the crust will go up. And so basically we will time the position, and we will know the exact position because we have a laser that will tell you all the way where you are.
Yeah, and what is the main change?
The main change is we started to detect a huge signal since 2002. When I speak about a huge signal, it's 1 centimeter per year of uplifts. En mesurant avec la pesanteur, avec un gramètre absolu et en combinant avec des mesures de GPS, on peut obtenir quelle est la quantité de masse qu'ils font annuellement au Groenland. Donc, en conséquence, on peut connaître quelle va être la contribution dans l'augmentation du niveau moyen des mers de la calotte glaciaire au Groenland. Donc, vous connaissez évidemment les conséquences importantes pour l'adaptation de la vie sur la Terre.
For the Greenlandic people, this means new opportunities for mining. There will be easier access to gold, aluminium, and whatever people are looking for.
Maintenant, les conséquences, évidemment, c'est le changement de l'habitat des Groenlandais. Et je pense qu'il faut leur demander à eux. Moi, je le lisais récemment dans les journaux. Ils ne sont pas nécessairement défavorables. Surtout la jeune génération, je pense, qui n'aura pas vu le passé.
In fact, Greenlanders are divided between those who want heavy industry and those who fear it. Nevi Nielsen is a prominent Inuk singer who is urging Greenlanders to question industrial development.
I want people to think about what could be the consequences once you start digging for oil and mining in Greenland. We're indigenous people who's been living on and very close to the land for so long. It's just such a big part of our culture to be in this nature, and we're so proud of this nature and the cleanness of it, and it's so integrated a part of us. It seems contradictory to me. We go fishing every summer since I was a kid, so I'm not an expert at fishing because you don't need to be very good to fish here. I never understood why people said that it was boring to fish, but that's before I knew that people didn't catch much fish in other places. Here, usually it doesn't take very long. Oh, Mom, look, I caught two. We'll put away the little one. I decided to write a song because I wanted people in Greenland to have a discussion and a debate about the future prospects of digging oil and mining with uranium as a byproduct, or just mining in general. Our main industry or economy in Greenland is based on fishing, and that would be contaminated, and that's the livelihood of a lot of people. That's actually an economy that is based on something that reproduces. If you're careful with it, can be continual. But oil, it will run out at some point. We're accustomed to having a clean nature, and I think people have a hard time imagining what it's actually like once you've ruined nature, but it's hard to come back. The people here should decide what kind of country we want to be and what kind of people we want to be. Susemanna se unnittelu
Navy's plea echoes across the Arctic as people realize that change is now inevitable and nothing is any longer quite what it seems.
It was on my wishing list to come here to this place since I've heard about it. Something.